The warrior spirit has always held a place of reverence in human culture. Throughout history, warriors were seen as the epitome of strength, resilience, and honor. The mindset of a warrior isn't just about physical prowess. It's about embodying the core values of courage, discipline, and sacrifice. But where does this warrior spirit come from? Is it ingrained in us from our evolutionary past? Or is it something that we adopt through training and cultural influence? Chapter 1. The psychological thrill of combat. Whether in real life or within controlled environments like sports, carries a unique psychological pull. What makes some individuals crave it? Why does the very concept of battle, with all its inherent danger and unpredictability, stir excitement in the hearts of so many? Understanding the psychological aspects of combat opens the door to understanding why humans, across cultures and ages, have been fascinated with fighting for centuries. At the core of this attraction lies our innate biological wiring. When faced with danger, our bodies trigger the fight-or-flight response, preparing us for battle, either by gearing up for a fight or fleeing to safety. The rush of adrenaline that floods the body brings with it heightened senses, sharper reflexes, and a sense of clarity in the face of chaos. This physical and mental state is profoundly intense, and for many, the surge of euphoria that follows can become addictive. But combat is about more than just the rush of physical sensations. For some, the psychological thrill is a manifestation of deeper, existential cravings. The need to feel alive in a world that can sometimes feel numbing or monotonous. Life, with its routine, can often feel like a blur. The chaos and unpredictability of combat provide a kind of clarity. In these moments, every decision matters, every action has weight, and every second is infused with purpose. On a deeper psychological level, combat provides a form of empowerment. It is one of the few arenas in life where an individual can push themselves to their absolute limits, mentally, physically, and emotionally. It can feel like a return to one's primal self, a reaffirmation of personal strength, and the ability to overcome obstacles. This is why people are often drawn to fighting, to competitive sports, and to high-stakes challenges. It is about proving to oneself and to others that we have what it takes to endure and rise above. Chapter 2. The dark allure of violence, control, power, and aggression. While there's a psychological thrill to combat rooted in the biological and emotional responses it evokes, there's also a darker side to the allure of violence, a side that reflects deep-seated desires for control, power, and dominance. The human fascination with violence often goes beyond self-defense or survival. In fact, for some, it is less about protection and more about asserting one's will over others. Violence, especially in war, can be seen as a means of dominating others, whether individuals, groups, or entire societies. Throughout history, violence has been used as a tool to consolidate power, eliminate perceived threats, and reshape the world in one's image. The human desire to control or conquer is an ancient impulse, rooted in the very fabric of our evolutionary history. At the core of this desire is the need for superiority. Being able to subjugate others allows us to feel more powerful and more secure in our place in the world. This desire to dominate others is a psychological manifestation of a deeper hunger for control. The ability to destroy or defeat an enemy is seen as the ultimate demonstration of one's strength and ability to shape the environment. It represents a primal affirmation of self-worth. For some individuals, there is an emotional release in exercising this control, an opportunity to impose their will and bend reality to their desires. Furthermore, Aggression in its most destructive form offers a way to channel deeply rooted emotions like anger, frustration, and resentment. It's an outlet for pent-up aggression, a way to externalize internal conflicts. Unfortunately, when unchecked, this aggression can spiral into violence that damages not only the target, but the aggressor as well, as unchecked power inevitably leads to emotional corrosion. Chapter 3. The Warrior Archetype, a symbol of identity. The warrior archetype is pervasive across cultures, stories, and traditions. From ancient mythologies to modern popular media, the warrior represents ideals that many people aspire to: bravery, strength, honor, and the ability to rise above adversity. It is an archetype that offers a model of identity, one that speaks to the values of resilience, courage, and self-discipline. The warrior's role is not merely to fight, but to embody the highest ideals of human potential. They are more than simply physical combatants. They are leaders, protectors, and defenders of what is right. The warrior archetype represents the triumph of the individual against overwhelming odds. This is a quality that resonates with people on a deep psychological level. We all face battles in our lives, whether external or internal, and the warrior serves as a symbol of how to confront these challenges with strength, honor, and resilience. In modern society, this archetype is often used as a source of motivation. People turn to the warrior mindset when they seek to overcome personal struggles, be it in their professional lives, in their relationships, or in overcoming personal weaknesses. The warrior is not afraid to confront their flaws, mistakes, or challenges. Instead, they meet each one with the mindset that they will grow stronger from the experience. The warrior also represents an ideal of masculinity, strength, bravery, and decisiveness. But more than this, the warrior archetype encourages an understanding of discipline and purpose. It's about channeling your energy toward a cause that transcends individual survival, whether that be protecting others, building something meaningful, or advancing a larger cause. Chapter 4. The Evolution of War, from Survival to Conquest. War, in its earliest form, was born from the most primal instincts of survival, fighting to protect one's territory, resources, or family. As human societies grew, so too did the reasons for conflict. Early wars were driven by the need to survive, while later wars became more complex, with motivations rooted in expansion, ideology, and control. Understanding this evolution helps explain why the concept of war and the allure of the warrior mindset continues to captivate the human imagination. As societies evolved from tribal groups to empires and nation-states, war became a tool not just for survival, but for conquest. Conquest wasn't only about physical territory. It also involved ideas, values, and systems of belief. Religions, ideologies, and political systems became the battlegrounds for global power struggles. This shift in the nature of war also brought with it a change in the nature of the warrior. No longer just a protector of the tribe, the warrior became a symbol of imperial expansion, often driven by larger social, economic, or political forces. In the modern world, war is often less about physical combat and more about the power dynamics that shape society. It's not just about nations fighting for resources or territory, but also for influence, control, and supremacy in a globalized world. Even as war takes new forms, whether in cyber warfare, economic sanctions, or ideological battles, the core essence remains the same. War is about power. The warrior mentality, deeply rooted in our history, still persists in many ways, even if the battlefield is no longer confined to physical combat. Chapter 5. the consequences, destruction, and the price of war. While the warrior spirit is often romanticized, the reality of war is far darker. The true costs of war and violence are measured not just in terms of the destruction of lives, but in the profound emotional, psychological, and societal damage they leave behind. The glorification of battle often overlooks the deep scars left on both the victors and the vanquished. War doesn't just destroy bodies, it destroys lives, families, communities, and futures. For soldiers and warriors, the psychological toll is immense. The trauma of war, the loss of comrades, the destruction witnessed, and the moral weight of violence can haunt a person for a lifetime. While they may return home physically unscathed, the emotional scars often take much longer to heal. The psychological effects of war, whether PTSD, survivor's guilt, or depression, are real, and they can continue to impact individuals long after the fighting stops. On a societal level, war has a profound impact on the fabric of civilization. Communities torn apart, economies devastated, and generations affected by the aftermath of violence can take years, even centuries, to rebuild. Beyond the immediate destruction, war perpetuates cycles of violence, creating an ongoing sense of fear, trauma, and hatred that can linger for generations. If this video made you reflect on the complexities of the warrior mindset and the allure of combat, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join us on the journey of exploring human nature, philosophy, and psychology. We'll continue to dig deeper into the forces that shape our world,